Episode messy, guys. Episode 7. Today we're gonna talk about UFC. We're gonna talk about fantasy baseball, and we're gonna talk about fantasy basketball. Coach Wondergeddon, guess who's first place in both of his basketball leagues 1 week before the playoffs? Run my intro. That's right, folks. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about fantasy basketball right now. We are 1 week away, 1 week away from my dreams coming true. Number one in two basketball leagues in one season. Unprecedented? Yes, I would say so. I think it has to do with me being amazing. But it wasn't all me. It was just mostly me. I have two different leagues, obviously both called Wondergeddon, where I am the GM slash coach of each of those. One team is in the league called the League of Degenerates. The other league is Jays and Titties. So 10-team league. 10-team league I had in League of Degenerates. Shout out to all the guys. Shout out to, I can't even say half their names, but I can't even say half their names. But anyways, 10-team league. This team is special to me. Probably one of the best teams that I've ever constructed. As I said, it is a 10-team league. And I'm 1 week away of having the honor and the distinction of having the same team that I drafted at the end of the season and still coming in first. That does not happen often, everybody. Usually when a person has the same team at the beginning of the season as the end, that usually means that they weren't paying attention, forgot their login code, all that good stuff. But I didn't. I came in first place with the team that I drafted. Why did I come in first place? I'm glad you asked. Take a look at my team in the League of Degenerates. My number one pick was Kevin Durant. My number two pick was Paul George. I know what you're thinking. How did you get Durant and Paul George 1 and 2? I don't know either. But I did get Devin Booker with my third pick. So as soon as I picked those three up, I thought playoffs for sure. And then it got better because then my front court. I used my front court to fill out in the second part of the season, or the second part of the draft. I got Clint Capella. I got Marc Gasol. My last couple weeks, Marc Gasol has been getting used to playing for the Raptors now, so I had a little downtime for the last couple weeks. But I already built up such a big lead in my league that I had time to work the kinks out, which I hope I do. Ricky Rubio, I hope so as well. I hope he fixes himself up. He's slowed down a little bit as well. Probably my most underrated guy that I had to pick up was my number 12 pick, De'Aaron Fox. I couldn't believe that he was still there when I went down to my 12th pick. This guy is the fastest guy in the NBA. I'm sure I've said this more than once on this show. As I said, we're on episode 7. I'm pretty sure I've said it on at least 3 episodes that De'Aaron Fox is the fastest player in the NBA. And I got him at the 12th. Collison I picked up at the 11. J.J. Redick at the 10. I got Buddy Hield at the 9. I got Nurkic. All these guys are playing way above what I even thought they were going to be able to do. De'Aaron Fox I knew was going to be good this year. I didn't know he was going to be this good. 15 points a game, I believe, and about 9 assists. Can't go wrong with that, especially when you get that low in the picks. Ricky Rubio, Julius Randle did really good for me this season. Buddy Hield. That is my 10-team league. They're awesome. I'm going to show you guys my 12-team league where it should have been harder. It was harder for me to draft because a lot of people get taken a lot faster. I'll be honest with you, this team, I like this team a lot, but I think the reason why I'm winning is because of Anthony Davis. stat monster. This guy fills up every stat. He does everything for that team. And if I don't win a season this year, it's because the Pelicans are trying to shut him down for as much as they can so that he doesn't get hurt before the end of the season. If you look at my team, you will see the reason why I'm winning, and I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be winning. Let me tell you why I shouldn't be winning. My number 3 pick, John Wall, got injured, gone for this season. My number 6 pick, Lonzo Ball, basically has been gone for most of my season. My 7th pick is Dwight Howard. He's been gone for the whole season. And Thaddeus Young, I can't remember what happened, but I had to drop Thaddeus Young and somebody picked him up right away. And Evans just didn't play that well, and I got rid of him too. But I did get Dennis Schroeder at the 10, and it doesn't show on here, but I did get the Aaron Fox in this league too. And I think the Aaron Fox might be the reason why I'm coming in first with this season. Steals, this guy gets almost 2 steals a game, 9 assists, 15, 20 points a game. Can't complain. Anthony Davis, though, is my workhorse. Bradley Beal is probably my MVP. I was hoping that he wouldn't let down with John Wall being injured for the year. He didn't, and he's been playing out of his mind for the last few months. And he's the reason why I'm going to the playoffs. Good job, teams. To the leagues, Jays and Titties, League of Degenerates, I'm honored to be your champion. You know, I'm super happy that I'm first in the league. I want this to be the precedent. I don't know if I'm going to win both of the seasons. I'm not going to go that far ahead, but I will tell you that it's nice to come in first in the league, and that I do appreciate you guys for making this possible for me. Basketball playoffs. I'm going to keep you guys updated week to week and let you guys know if I'm going to win this thing or not. And if I don't, I'm going to give you guys a lot of good excuses as to why I didn't win. All right, we're going to talk about the other league that we're getting ready to start, baseball, after this. Major League Baseball, guys, it's back. Preseason, it's going on right now. We are looking at 2019 Major League Baseball. I am going to tell you guys what you should pick and who you should pick. First baseman, top 5 first baseman. Here we go. Let me start off by saying this before I actually say here we go. Let me start this. We're doing a baseball league. Join the league. Join Coach WONDERGEDDON on Instagram for access to the league. Let me know that you're in there, and then I'll send you the link, and then you can jump in. We're going to do a free league, and we're going to do a $25 league where the winner gets a pot of the money, a portion of the money. First place, second place, third place usually comes in free. We're going to play that 1, 2, 3. First base, or first, second, third place. We're going to try to get 8 teams in there, but if we could get 10 or 12 teams in there, even better. The $25 league is going to be a keeper league. The free league is just going to be a one and done. You jump in if you want. And if you want to join the fantasy league, the keeper league the year after, then you can do what you can to join in there at that point. But for now, we're going to do, as I said, a keeper league, $25 buy-in, and we're going to do a free league. That being said, what we're going to talk about right now is the top 5 first basemen, in my opinion, for 2019. Number 1, the number 1 first baseman this year is going to be Ryan Hoskins. He's going to be the number 1 in the league this year. He is playing for the Phillies. He's a first base / left fielder. He is going to be surrounded by Bryce Harper. He's going to be surrounded by Gene Segura and JT Realmuto, which means that there's no weakness in that lineup. All 3 of those guys are going to hit a ton. They're going to get a ton of runs. It's going to be crazy. Last year was this is his 3rd year. Last year, in his 2nd year, he hit 34 home runs, 96 RBIs. Those numbers are going to go up. He has more consistent players. He has more consistent players on both of those teams, or both of those spots in front of him. He's probably going to play the 3 or the 4, which means he has a high chance of getting 100 RBIs, 100 runs, and by his output in home runs last year, if he does what he did last year, which second and third year usually does a little bit better than any other year, he hit 34 home runs in his second year. So I'm expecting it to go between 34 and 40. If you have him on your league, then you're off to a good start. If you have a keeper league and you have Hoskins on your keeper league, make sure you do keep him. I know third basemen tend to be a little bit deep in the draft, but I think this guy's going to hit some monster numbers this year, so I suggest that you do keep him and try to draft him earlier on instead of trying to settle for a mid-range first baseman, which is what a lot of people do in the baseball season. Number two, you're going to want to pick up Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs. He has 74 runs last year, 25 home runs, 100 RBIs. He's going to be with the Cubs. The Cubs is a very deep team. He's going to get a lot of people on base in front of him for him to hit a lot of home runs, get a lot of RBIs. Number 3, in my opinion, Atlanta. Freddie Freeman, first baseman, 90 runs, 25 home runs, about 45 doubles, 309 average, which is really high for a first baseman, especially first baseman because they're not very fast, so they don't tend to hit very high for average because they don't get to sneak on those extra hits by being quick. He is going to be surrounded with. He's going to be playing with Donaldson this year, and if Donaldson plays anything better than what he played with the Blue Jays for the last couple of years, which I think he will, I think the Blue Jays might have messed him up a little bit as far as how good of a batter he's going to be. He was played most of the season was injuries. With the before he got shipped out to Cleveland, he was more of an injury prone guy for the last 2 years, and I think that's going to stop. He's going to play consistent this year. I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's past his prime, but Freddie Freeman's not, so he just has to get on base for Donaldson behind him, or Donaldson's going to have to get on pace for him on top of him in the order. Number 4, Paul Goldschmidt from the Cardinals. He's going to have another big year. He had 95 runs last year. I expect that to be the same. 35 home runs, 85 RBIs, 290 average. I expect that to be around the same for next year or for this year, which means he's going to have a pretty good year. The 5th one that I think, number 5, there was a lot of guys I could have chose from as far as who's number 5. To be honest, if you want to debate that with me, feel free to join on my Instagram. Argue with me about it. Higher Movement Showcase. Comment at the bottom if you don't believe me. But number 5 is going to be Cody Bellinger from the Dodgers. They got rid of Machado for a reason. Machado, they didn't really fight to keep him because they knew they had a lot of hitters, and one of them is Cody Bellinger. This guy's a 260 average. Last year, 25 home runs, 76 RBIs. I expect that even if that stays at a normal pace, I expect that to be more than enough if you pick him up in maybe the mid rounds, maybe a 3rd or 4th, you want it to be top 5 definitely as far as first basemen go. You don't want to have him out there too long. Someone's going to get him. He could go up to 85 RBIs this year. That's the top five first basemen to pick up in the Major League Baseball this season, 2019. So this weekend was UFC 235. 235, not 236, as I've been telling everybody by accident for the last week. 235 took place in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. It was amazing. Not everything was amazing, but it was pretty good. It was actually really good. Bones Jones is the man. He probably won't lose a fight for the rest of his career. He's amazing. He absolutely decimated Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith they had him losing. He was an underdog. They expected him to lose, but when John Jones puts a beating on people, he really makes you look like you do not belong in the ring with him. And Anthony Smith looks like he belongs in the ring with everybody except for John Jones. John Jones, what if this was Rock'em Sock'em? John Jones was the rock, and Anthony Smith was the sock. He got beat in every part of the game. Um, it was a really good fight though. He tried. You could tell he put a lot of effort into it, but you know what? It's Bones Jones, man. He's the best fighter in the world. He's the best fighter in the world. Unfortunately, can't say the same thing about the quality of the fight with Tyrone Woodley and Kamaru Usman. Although Kamaru Usman did play the a really good game against Tyron Woodley. Continuous pressure, continuously hitting him. Tyron Woodley didn't have an answer for it. He was backing up most of the fight. And when Usman got hold of him, he really held him and kept him in check. I've never seen Tyron Woodley get out wrestled before in a UFC fight. I've never seen him get out wrestled. This is the first time I've seen him completely out wrestled, and it was amazing. Nigerian Nightmare. Kamaru Usman is the new champion, the new welterweight champion, and he completely outworked Tyron Woodley. His training partner, Ben Askren, beat Robbie Lawler by a bulldog choke. But Robbie Lawler didn't really tap. I feel like we say this at least once every UFC. Every UFC, there's always that one incident where somebody might have got stopped early. And that's I want to blame the referees because it is their fault. But truthfully, for the safety and the integrity of the sport, you got to have them do it the way that they do it. But I did watch the fight. I was watching the fight. I was there, and honestly, it looked like Robbie Lawler passed out. It looked like he got choked. It was a bulldog choke, meaning just like in high school when you get somebody in the choke and they're behind you and you're holding them by their neck, so you're looking down at the top of their head. If that arm goes limp, you usually assume that guy's finished. He's passed out. You're gonna run and cry for help, because if you're doing that when you're little, you're scared. But held him there, watched his arm go limp, let go of him. Robbie Lawler popped up and said, "What are you doing?" And that's how Ben Askren beat Robbie Lawler. But I can't imagine Robbie Lawler was going to be able to do anything if he was still held in a bulldog choke. I feel like it would have been a matter of time before he passed out anyways, but that's always up for debate. That's what we fight for, right? This was Askren's debut, and he got busted up pretty good. Robbie Lawler gave him an amazing suplex slam at one point, and then punched him in the eye. That damage is going to be on his face for a little bit of time. That being said, it was a good match. Does it need a rematch? Technically, it doesn't really need a rematch, but it's the UFC, and they have so many people and so much other things to do that the rematch might be the only answer. You didn't really answer any questions. You don't know if Robbie Lawler is at the downfall of his career. You don't know if Ben Askren is as real as he says he is. You just don't know. So there's probably going to be a rematch for it. What there won't be a rematch for is Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munhoz. Why? Because Cody Garbrandt got knocked out in the first round again. I feel so bad for this guy. This guy's such a good fighter. He's grown on me. I really like him. No love, Cody. But his emotions, man, he's got to get those in check. He got into a slugfest with this guy, and even though he's faster than him, he decided to slug it out with him anyways, and then he got his head popped right off. Third KO in a row for Cody Garbrandt. I don't think he's done yet. This is probably one of those adversity times that a lot of people go through as a fighter, where you start questioning how serious you are in it. Cody's pretty serious in it. I think he's gonna be okay. But man, those knockouts, man, they do something to your brain after a while. You don't want to take too many more of those, Cody. Get well soon. Get back in the ring and win one, please. Don't drop all the way out of top 10. I really like this guy. Lastly, because I did miss the undercard, so I'm not gonna tell you about that. I do know about Johnny Walker hurting himself at the end of his fight. In his celebration, hurt himself. I know, but I didn't see it, so I'm not gonna sit down and make fun of him about it. But just know, Johnny Walker, I'm making fun of you, and if you think that I'm talking about the liquor, then you're probably watching the wrong show. Weilong Zhang beat Ticia Torres in a David and Goliath match. Goliath won. Ticia Torres, she's a little small fireball. She jumps around. She does a lot of things. She's trying to beat you up in so many different ways. But Zhang, this is the first time I've seen her. She's from China, 18-1, and she just held down Ticia Torres and beat her mercilessly for like 3 rounds. Just kept beating her. But Ticia Torres she's a pit bull, man. She'll keep going. She'll keep going. But just know that in this David and Goliath match, Goliath won. Goliath won. The undercards I didn't see. If anybody wants to talk about the undercards, go into the comments below. Write down something. If it's something I missed, ask me. I'll talk about it next week. It makes no difference to me. That's what happened. What did we learn today? We learned that, one, I am a fantasy basketball genius. We learned that De'Aaron Fox is the fastest player in the league, and I've said this many times. He also might be the MVP of both of my leagues, because to get him at such low picks, 11 and 12 picks, really boosted my team and made my team look better than it was. We also learned that baseball league, the Phillies are about to scare a lot of people this season. I have no doubt in my mind that the Phillies are going to beat a lot of players this league. I think they're going to the playoffs at the very least. As I said, if you're looking at first baseman, you're looking at Anthony Rizzo. You're looking at Freddie Freeman. You're looking at Paul Goldschmidt. You're looking at Cody Bellinger. And my number one guy this year, probably my MVP of my keeper league, because I have him last year with full intent to keep him this year, is Ryan Hoskins. He's going to be the number one baseball first baseman this season. Mark it down that I said it today. And that's it.